What's going on, YouTube? Back again with another video. Actually been a minute because I've been at Fort Polk, but wanted to speak on a few things. I'm actually gonna be making probably 3 videos today, but this first video is all about Tua. So he cleared concussion protocol roughly about 2 weeks ago. In an article, he said that he was actually glad the Dolphins kept him on the protocol because it gave him a chance to fully heal. It also gave him a different perspective. He also had been hearing the whispers and people that advised him to retire and to move on from football and think about his family and his kid. And, they basically said that his health is the most important thing. And I think he finally understands that point. He did, however, say he's going to be taking judo to understand how to fall better, which hopefully breeds production during the season when they do sack him, or he, when he hits the ground, hopefully he doesn't fall in a certain way to further injure himself. So I'm hoping that will be an improvement. But overall, if you look at his season this year, in 12 games he threw for 3,600 yards, damn near 25 touchdowns to 8 interceptions. So he went up in touchdowns, down in picks, way up in yards. QBR, he was still in the top 5. And his completion percentage dipped just a little bit. But stats-wise, he proved exactly why he could be the franchise quarterback for the Dolphins. Now, they have till May 1st to exercise his 5th-year option. I think I agree with Doug. I think I agree with Doug in terms of waiting it out to see, like, if he could play the season next year, like the full season, like week in, week out, and get to the very end and make a nice playoff push, then yes, you go ahead and come back to the table and renegotiate with a max contract and give him that, $30-40 million of guaranteed money up front for a salary. However, if he gets injured again this season that's coming, I think they should cut ties with him. And I'm the biggest Tua fan in the world, but it's only fair as a business. And they're in the business of winning. They made the playoffs, but you saw the clear difference between Tua, Teddy, and Skylar. It's a huge difference. And for those who think that Skylar's on his level, then you're clearly retarded. He was a rookie. And in that game, you saw how much they struggled with him at the helm. With Tua, it would have been easier because he can actually read the defense. And they didn't have their secondary back there. So that means that Tyreek Hill would have had a field day. And Jalen Waddle would have had a field day. And so would those other receivers out there with that bust-up, banged-up secondary. But because you don't have a quarterback to get them the ball, it became a slugfest when it didn't have to be. We lost by 3 points to a team that was supposed to be blowing us out. And Josh Allen threw 2 picks in that game, and they still won the game. So that's a testament to the fight that team possessed, but then again, it is a detriment to what they were projected to accomplish, which is at least make the divisional round, but that didn't happen. They lost in the wild card round. So Tua he's got to stay healthy. I understand he wants to extend plays and make things happen for his team, but you can't do nothing from the sideline, my man. And I'm the biggest Tua supporter in the world. I want to see him play. I want to see him healthy as well, but I want to see him play out there. I want to see him producing week after week after week. He ain't got to put up 300 yards a game. That's unrealistic. The realistic side of it is he can put up 250 a game, and he'll still get to 4,000 yards. Now, he have explosion games like the Ravens game, he exploded. The Browns game, he exploded. Who else was the second Bills game, he exploded. He did really, really well against Green Bay the first half, against the Texans the first half. That Detroit game, the Chicago game, he was exploding. He was literally putting up big numbers week in, week out. Then he got hurt. So I'm praying this year that they'll do what they can to adjust that line because he still had the I want to say 5th or 6th fastest time to get rid of the ball. He had under 2.4 seconds to release the ball before he got hit, because his line is just that bad. I mean, so it's not going to get any better if they don't put any work into it. That's why free agency is so important. They also got to make a decision about how they're gonna move on from Byron Jones. But the most important thing is your quarterback. And I don't really care about the training camps and all that stuff. I mean, yeah, you work the kinks out. You go out there and you put up, throwing plays and shit like that. But the preseason, the regular season, what I care about the most. And I know that Doug can put out consistent training camp videos. I think it's like 10 weeks of it, or 10 days of it, or whatever it is, which I'm fine with that. But I'm not as concerned about training camp, because he won't get touched. All he's gonna do is drop back, make passes. So he's not allowed to get touched in training camp. It's when the regular season rolls around, how he perform. As the weeks go by, how his body hold up. Because he's gonna take some hits. He's gonna take some hits. But I want him to be able to play week in and week out to help this team secure either a 1st or 2nd seed. Because their conference is already tough. They got Kansas City, Cincinnati, Cleveland now. They're gonna be a real good team next season. You got the Bills, of course, is always gonna be there. You got the Chargers. You got I can't believe I'm losing my train of thought. The Jets. If they can get a quarterback, the Jets gonna be right there with the Dolphins in that division. Then you have you got Jacksonville, who's coming up. That's on the rise. Tennessee's falling apart, unfortunately. If the Colts can get them a quarterback, they'll be okay. So it's 7, 8 teams in the AFC that's going to be competitive. So the Dolphins could be right in that mix. They could be one of the elite teams that people got to come see come playoff time. And that's what I want for Tua. I want them to be able to have home playoff games, because Kansas City played at home the entire playoffs except for the Super Bowl. So if you can get games at Hard Rock Stadium to go right through Hard Rock Stadium, where you ain't got to go nowhere, where you're the hosting team, and teams that come deal with you in that heat, think about how much better you guys could perform versus going on the road to Arrowhead Stadium or Cincinnati. You know what I'm saying? Especially in the winter. In January time frame, it'd be nice to have home games, because then you set the tone, you set the tempo. You could dictate, because it's pretty sure it's 85 degrees in Miami still. So teams are not going to be used to that. That's used to the cold weather. They got to acclimate what they do and how they perform in the heat in Miami in January. And if you can get it to that point, you're more than likely going to make the championship round. More than likely. That's when people are going to see what Tua really can do on the biggest stages. And if he could just stay healthy regular season, perform well in the playoffs, even make a nice push to the AFC Championship game, and let's say he performs well in that, then the sky's the limit for that team. Sky's the limit. But the first thing is his health. I'm very pleased with how he played this season. His numbers bear that out. I'm very happy with how he looked. I'm also happy though that he was actually given the chance to show what he can do, because they easily could have walked the other direction. But they said, he's gonna be this season coming up. He's the named starter, even though now they got this Lamar Jackson thing going on about should he be traded to the Dolphins. And look, here's my take on that. So Lamar would not fit the system in Miami. The reason being because Miami's not a heavy base run team. Baltimore is. Which means that play action and stuff like that is more equivalent to Lamar, because he can play action very well, and he can use his legs or his arm for that. But when you ain't got no running game, Lamar's not gonna stand back there and drop back and throw it 40 times with efficiency. That's not what he does. Tua can do that. He's proven he can do that. So if you want to bring Lamar to Miami, then what are you really saying? That you're going to turn to an explosive offense with a dude that's limited, or what he can do with the ball? Because to me, his passes have to be damn near spot on in order for him to be efficient or effective. He's not a prototypical quarterback. He's not going to drop back and read much of the defense to make a decision. He may go with his first or second read. After that, he's going to try to get downfield in a hurry, or he's going to try to get the ball off to whichever read he feels more comfortable. Or like I said, he's going to get downfield and try to make some play, make some people miss, and then kick in the high gear and bolt it to the end zone. That's not going to breed for production much, especially in the postseason, because teams are going to lock you up. Now, if you're a prototypical passer like Tua is, you can actually benefit very heavily from not having so much run support, because they had a carousel of running backs. When Jeff Wilson got hurt, when Raheem Mostert got hurt, it really hurt the running game. Because Jeff Wilson is a bruiser, but he's not a speed back. Raheem Mostert can get up top speed, he just can't break tackles. So you take the good with the bad, you know what I'm saying? Take the good with the bad. So they're looking to see what Tua can do in terms of this season, because it rides on if he can stay healthy. And I don't blame them. I want to see him actually take that next evolution to get to 4,500 yards, 40 touchdowns. You know, it's not real, and it's not unrealistic, because without that 6 touchdown game, he only has 19 touchdowns. So he shot for the moon in one game. Then he started, hitting 3 touchdowns a game at a certain point. Then he got hurt. Once he got hurt, though, it really took a turn for the worse. But I do feel like those last 3 games, the Jets game, the Patriots, the Jets, and it was he missed 3 games down the stretch. He missed the Patriots game. We would have won that game. It was 2 games. Because the Packers game, he got hurt. He missed the following 2 games, and then he missed the playoff game. So that's what I'm thinking about. The Patriots game, he would have put up numbers against them, no doubt. Then the Jets game, we only scored 11 points on field goals, and then a safety. Now I know for a fact Tua would have threw at least 2-3 touchdowns on them, which would have put them up to 28 or put them at 30, 32, 33 touchdowns. So that's not even a no-brainer. But I want to see him be able to stay healthy and perform at such a high level to where people won't keep this damn flip-flop stuff going on when it comes to him. Because it seems like they enjoy bashing him. They enjoy watching him fail or falter. Then they try to exalt Jalen Hurts. And if you break down Jalen Hurts for what he is, he's nothing more than a runner masquerading as a quarterback. The Super Bowl, which I want to do a video on that, but I said never mind. That Super Bowl, he had 2 big plays of 45 yards apiece, which is 90 yards. He threw for 304 yards. You take away that, he had 213 yards passing on dink and dunks. And the 2 plays, one of them was busted coverage, where Devontae Smith found himself wide open, and he underthrew Devontae. He stopped to catch it, turned around with enough mobility to stay in bounds to get out of bounds like the win. The A.J. Brown touchdown pass, the rookie was in position to pick the ball up, but he lost it in the lights. A.J. Brown tracked it down and caught it. But people give him credit for that. Can't take it away, it's a touchdown. It is. But that entire game, all he wanted to do was run. So he regressed on the biggest stage to going back to what he's known to do, which is run the ball. You'll win games. You will win games like that. But if you rewind it back to the 49ers game, he didn't beat them. The running game was the primary cause for them beating the 49ers. He benefited off 2 rushing touchdowns, don't get me wrong, but he didn't single-handedly beat them. Not with his arm, he didn't. He barely threw for 100 yards in that game. They ran the ball down the 49ers' throat. And then the Super Bowl, they ran the ball again because he barely threw the ball against the Chiefs, who they don't really have a great passing defense. And then you got outscored in the second half 24-11. You was up now 24-14. It was 38. Okay, so it was 24-11, second half. So I mean, when people try to compare those two, there's no real comparison. Yeah, Jalen Hurts put up 3,700 yards, 25 touchdowns, I think, to like 6 picks. But he don't throw the ball like that. So it's like, and his rushing touchdown, I think he finished with like 13 on the season. He had more rushing touchdowns than any of his running backs on the roster. And the only two people that benefited from his passes were AJ Brown and Devontae Smith. So I'm just saying, you got to think about what the overall aspect of football is. It's not about how fast you can run with it. You got to be able to distribute the ball. And with Tua, he has to be able to stay healthy. That's it. That's his only knock. I mean, I'm pretty sure he's heard a million different opinions about his health. I can't make him stay healthy. I can't sit there and be in his ear about his health, but he's heard it all. I just want to see him excel like he did this season in such a limited amount of time, but I want to see it over the duration. Like 17 games duration, plus the playoffs. Because a lot of quarterbacks do it. Tua shouldn't be any different. He should be able to withstand, I'm not saying take big hits, but to hit the head in the back of the turf, come on, man. Like, some of that stuff is in here. You got to be able to control your head to where it's not, or you're not doing that. Otherwise, you will have a concussion. And you will be kicked out the game. So, with that being said, I mean, that's all I want to see him do. I have no questions about can he play. He showed it already. He showed it to me from the rookie to sophomore season when he was producing and going up in numbers. And then his third year, he took off. Which, if people really think about it, who was the other cat that did the same thing? Oh, Josh Allen, right? They gave him Stephon Diggs. He took the hell off. You give Tua, Waddle, and Hill, but when he got Hill is when he took off. Waddle helped him. He got over, 2,600 yards, and Waddle had 1,000 of them. So that means he leaned heavily on one guy. He got Hill, and he could evenly distribute. But Waddle was able to be freer because people pay more attention to Tyreek, which is what you want. And Tyreek still put up 1,700 yards. Meanwhile, Waddle had over 1,300. So you want that offsetting production. Between the two of them, that was 3,100 yards, which is what you want. That was 3,000 yards between the two of them. So the majority of Tua's passes or offense went through those two receivers. Which means the other guys, hey, y'all benefited off two guys that was getting open a lot. They was separating a lot. And Tua was hitting them. I don't blame Tua for that. That's what you're supposed to do. So they had a well-rounded offensive attack that didn't involve heavy run schemes. But Mike McDaniel, I think this season he can draw a much better offensive scheme to where they could be even more effective with the running game and connect on bigger downfield passes. I'm looking forward to see what he comes up with this season, especially him and the OC. It's gonna be a fun thing to see them, do their thing this season. But that's my take on things, guys. Like I said, I want to see what he can do. I want to see how he looks. The new look Tua. Let's see what they're actually gonna do this upcoming season. But that's my time, guys. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think of the video. Will he stay healthy enough? Let me know what you think, guys. Peace.